Hey DB, welcome to this year's first episode of Conquest Journal.
I'm Leslie.
I'm Noah.
Let's get started. Here's your DV 101.
In this DV 101, we'll be talking about hallway safety.
But I think there's definitely some rough housing in the hallways. I know that teachers are supposed to be out in the hallways kind of monitoring, and so hopefully that helps decrease, any horseplaying during transition time.
Here are some tips for walking in the hallway. While walking in the halls, be considerate of others around you. By showing your affection another time, not shoving others in the hallway, and not be on your phone. Be considerate of others' safety while walking in the halls.
I think just making sure you're not looking at your phone. Everybody's looking at their phone sometimes, and that can, distract you to where you can trip over someone. And making sure you're paying attention to where you're walking, even when you're going down the stairwell, making sure you hold on to the handrail because you want to make sure that you don't take a wrong step, and if you do, you're kind of holding on already to prevent.
Now knowing the dangers of walking in the halls, be considerate of others around you. Reporting for Conquest Journal, Danielle Gutierrez.
Hey, last week we were against our rivals for football.
And we won with an incredible score.
Last Friday, we met our rivals of the Lower Valley. Our football players had a great start to the game, starting with 3 touchdowns, adding more each quarter. By halftime, the score was 27-0. To the end, Isleta never had a chance against our mighty Conquistadores, tallying up the score to 41-0. Reporting for Conquest Journal, Eileen Matamoros.
Athletes try their hardest to achieve greatness.
But it can come with some consequences, such as injuries.
Athletes are at risk of injuring themselves on a regular basis, but they try to prevent such injuries.
We tell the athletes to prevent any injury, to make sure that they're staying hydrated, they're warming up correctly, stretching, that they're actually doing the drills as instructed and not trying to goof off or do it in their own way. And hopefully with those steps we can prevent injuries.
Athletes must wear their gear at all times and must be wrapped if needed. Football coach Jesse Paredes makes sure that his football players work out and are in good condition to prevent injuries.
I think, the things that we do for preventive is we lift weights, we condition, make sure our bodies are in tip-top shape, and then we don't do a lot of contact. We don't take down to the ground, things like that. I think help us avoid injuries.
To get treatment, you would have to come at 7:30 in the morning or in 10th period or after school. To prevent these injuries, you must wear your gear at all times. Reporting for Conquest Journal, Valerie Chus.
Student Council does a lot of things, including pep rallies.
Let's take a look. The El Valle community has a lot to be proud of. So how do we show off the achievements? One way is with pep rallies. Pep rallies is a sacred tradition we do every year for our school. Pep rallies always happen during sports season, meaning George has a lot to do.
I'm the spirit captain, so being the assembly manager, we just basically have to take care of all the events that we have here having to do with student council, like the pep rallies, like the parade, homecoming, prom, and things like that. So we basically set that into motion. right? And then as theater captain, I basically go to all the big games that we have here at school, whether it's football, basketball, volleyball, soccer, and we basically, try to cheer up the team and try to get everybody as loud as possible.
It's hard preparing for this, but they always manage to pull through.
There's a lot of stuff that needs to get signed by the teachers, by us. A lot of calling, a lot of, setting up dates and stuff like that. So, we like to prepare like 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance.
Reporting for Conquest Journal, Leslie Zubian. I think it'll be nice to take a closer look at the sky.
Oh, actually, we have a telescope here at Del Valle.
Do you know there's a telescope in Del Valle? The telescope was built and installed around 1990 in our school parking lot, but unfortunately it stopped working 7 years ago. When Mr. Acuña became principal, he realized the advantage it will bring if it was fixed.
I don't think no other high school has a telescope with that capability. That Mr. Sanchez said that the IQ team and him will put a plan together to get it fixed.
I went to Del Valle many years ago. That telescope has always been out there, and every time I drive past it, I wondered, was it being used? And when I found out it wasn't being used, I decided, that would be a great project. It could serve the astronomy club, it could serve the math club, it could serve Haiku and other clubs. Biggest benefit for the observatory is to have kids actually see things out there that they normally can't. We can see craters, you can see Mars, you can see the rings of Saturn, you can see Jupiter.
The telescope will provide real-world experience.
It's nice to see things in a book, but if you can actually see it with your own eyes, that's amazing.
Fixing the telescope is not the only concern. People are wondering about the light pollution.
Light pollution mostly is going to be a big factor in what you're able to see. It's still better than the naked eye by 100 times. You're going to see our kids out there with corn nuts. Just know that money is going to our Del Valle community.
We'll keep you updated about the telescope.
Reporting for Conquest Journal, Carol Rodriguez.
Senior year goes by really fast, so you need to get started on your college and scholarship applications.
For help with those, you can go to the Go Center.
Need help for life after high school? Look no further than the Go Center.
Center to me is a place where students can come and research colleges, complete college applications, look up scholarships, complete scholarship applications, find out what's out there for them for after high school.
The Go Center is always welcome to students from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
I'm usually here by about 7:50 in the morning, and I don't leave till the last student leaves. So if I have a student here at 6 p.m. completing an application, I am here. Mr. Acuña has a number in his head, and he's announced it to the senior class. It is $20 million. Yes, last year we did $9 million.
Mr. Acuña has set up some pretty high goals for this senior class.
The reason that we wanted to set it at that level is because we want all the students to go to college.
Time is running out, seniors. Head to the Go Center at C203.
Reporting from Conquest Journal, Annalise Castro.
Since Del Valle first opened, there haven't been many restorations.
Yeah, you're right. Let's check what Acuña did this year.
Del Valle started off the year with new improvements that made the school look even better. This year, our principal, Mr. Acuña, decided to paint the school.
I don't know if you know this, but the school has not been painted in 30 years. So any building that has not been painted in 30 years needs some painting.
Del Valle had many buildings built at different times, and Mr. Acuña wanted to make sure to have the whole school painted at the same time.
Every different building was painted at a different time. Some 10 years ago, some 20 years ago, some 30 years ago. So what we wanted to do to bring unity to that and paint it just one paint job. So now the whole school was painted the same year.
The class of 2017 officers and sponsors also contributed by gifting new features to the school.
Okay, first of all, we added signs. The front sign that reads Del Valle High School was added, a new face to the marquee, and the sign that's on the science building. Then we also added Conquistadores in iron.
After the process of upgrading the school's new look, Mrs. Tala feels very proud with the results.
Seeing the lights on, seeing the way the Conquistador iron letters look, just coming into the horseshoe, and just seeing the new look, that is what, that was a cherry on top, definitely.
Thank you, Mr. Acuña, for the fresh new look of Del Valle. Reporting for Conquest Journal, Beatriz Valdez.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Conquest Journal, signing off.
A lot of things for the school. Does a lot of things for school, including pep rallies.
Oh, I'm not ready on that. Really? Oh, yeah?
Alright. Did we white balance before this?
You did all of that stuff.